doctor fighting for you and me. Patients need what the doctor has said. Safe access now to the meds they've read. One love, one fight, don't you delay. Rights for the people in every way. We stand tall, we won't back down. Safe access is the anthem sound. Safe access is the anthem sound. The struggle is real, but so is the fire. For health and hope, we climb higher. Stand with the ones who can't stand alone. For every voice deserves a throne. Compassion leads where the laws resist. A healer's heart can't coexist with barriers blocking what we deserve. The people's needs must be preserved. One love, one fight, don't you delay. Rights for the people in every way. We stand tall, we won't back down. Safe access is the anthem sound. Safe access is the anthem sound. Summer's voice, it carries the flame for justice. Chant her name again. We stand tall, we won't back down. Safe access is the anthem sound. For the people's care, we will sustain.
Welcome back, guys, to our Patients for Safe Access podcast. And I can already see a couple people popping up in the chats and the comments. So Kelly, hey, how are you? So this week, one of the things that I really wanted to touch base on is with Patients for Safe Access. As you guys know, we advocate for the access to safe quality medical cannabis in final form at all times. But one of our underserved categories is our veterans. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about this week, is about what does it mean to a veteran to have the access to safe quality medical cannabis. And so, you know, we all know that like medical cannabis isn't something that's covered by our insurance providers, right? And so when we talk about the access, just the access to medical cannabis, right? There are a small percentage of people that can afford to purchase everything they want to purchase and need all of the time, right? And so not always is a group that has a limited funding and stuff like that able to afford the meds as well. And so in that, we are discussing our veteran community. You know, these guys went out there and they gave us 100%. Every day, all day, 365 until they were told they didn't have to anymore, but they're still giving us 100% every day, 365, just in a civilian manner now. And so, you know, there are a lot of medical categories that are associated. You have got PTSD and stuff like that, all kinds of things. I can't even begin to label all of it because there's just too much, you know, that our veteran community deals with, whether it's the medical community or psychiatric community. And so we want to advocate for certain things for them in the state of Oklahoma, where I'm from. And what we're trying to advocate for is for them to have either a low-cost license renewal or license application fee if they're applying for the first time, a reduced cost, no cost, or even an extended license. And the reason why even an extended license would work, like a 5-year or a 10-year patient card license for them, it would reduce the cost of renewals. They wouldn't have to renew as often, right? So that's one of the things that we're advocating for at the state capitol. And then one of the other things that we're advocating for is the access to affordable meds for our veterans. And so we actually have a really cool dispensary in Shawnee, Oklahoma called Robinson's. And the owner of that dispensary, his name is Rob Speet. And he started a program called Project 22, The War at Home. And at Patients for Safe Access, we are very happy to be paired up with this project with Rob and James and Crystal and everyone else involved in that project. So I'll tell you a little bit about that project. And then we're going to bring on a guest here at about 4:25 or so. And I say 4:25 because that is Eastern time. It's 3:25 for me. But Project 22, The War at Home, is where we try to pair growers with the dispensaries to provide 22 bags of medical cannabis every month with 22 grams in each bag that becomes available to the first 22 veterans to come through the door at each participating dispensary location to be able to purchase that medicine for only 22 cents, right? So that's super important for us to get many people networked into that. And there's a great collaborative effort of people that have just joined that cause and that action in the background who are putting together some really great things, some organization. They're pairing more of the growers up with the locations so that we can actually bring this program statewide for the state of Oklahoma. So if you're interested in something like that for your state, and or if you're unaware of things like that for your state and you want to start something like that, please reach out to Rob Speak, Crystal Smotherman, James Bush. There's several others. I can't think of their names off the top of my head. So we can get you in contact with people, that did the program here. And again, this is a program that's just ran by the patients, by the community. This is not a program that's government funded. This is not a program that has any funding. It's simply just networking and putting it together to try to give an underserved category the rights to what they deserve. So that's what it is for me. It is a personal mission for me because, we have too many of our veterans that have been put on way too many pills by Big Pharma who are, living a life that isn't to their quality of life because of Big Pharma pills, right? And so a lot of veterans choose to go to medical cannabis, and we want to be able to get them linked up with the right, locations to purchase products that are safe for them and that will give them the best results. So hang on just a second. Let me see. Hippie, you got anything on that? He's being quiet, so that's a no.
No, not yet. No, I wasn't expecting that, but I will. Hold on.
No, I just want to know, what do you think about that program, about the 22 program, about the 22?
Well, I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it aggravates me the fact that that the country above us gives their medicine to their veterans for free. And we can't figure that out here in our country, and they deserve it for free. They throw away more here than more than enough to be able to at the end of the year, because it's either went bad or it's got, where it could be still safe enough for the patients. They throw away a lot that is still good at the end of the year that should be saved and be given to people who deserve it and need it, especially our veterans.
Absolutely. That's the point about the, their pharmaceuticals being, at a no cost to them due to the, insurance and stuff like that. And we need to get that changed. We need to get some type of federal legalization in so that it can become something that they can bill to insurance and stuff like that. I think
absolutely. The only thing that scares me about going through pharmacies is that I would be concerned that then they're going to try to, well, I mean, in a medical state, that's fine. But in a recreational state, I don't know how it would work, right? I mean, how would you wouldn't be able to go to a pharmacy to get your recreational marijuana?
Yeah, I'm actually not really sure how that would work because Oklahoma is not rec. We do have a rec petition coming up though. And
I think we do too this year in Pennsylvania. Well, I don't know what's going on anymore, but we did at one point. I thought we had something going towards getting rec here, or at least the right to grow. I'm gonna look that up. How long
has Pennsylvania been medical?
We've been medical. I think I'm on my 6th year. My card.
So we're
6
about
years.
the same time.
Right, I agree, Sean. Sean says over there, anything helping our veterans is awesome. I personally, I think that it is a huge mistake that we are just throwing it away at the end instead of there's people that can cook it, turn it into different types of medicine for these guys to help them with all of the stuff. It's the least we could do, and it's proven to help with PTSD. I take it for PTSD myself. It just makes me nuts.
There's FICO capsules out there that are great treatment treatments. There's RSO, of course, it's great treatments. There's like all kinds of treatment options.
Absolutely. I love me my RSO, that's for sure. I may have had a little too much yesterday. I might be suffering from an RSO hangover today, but
Was that part of the problem?
well, yeah, it's part of the problem, but it was it worked great. It worked wonders for while I was there, though. I felt, I was able to no pain at all.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a shame there's no more help for veterans than what we have. Well, the thing is that summer, and there are a lot of people out here doing like WTHC radio and everybody else that's out here working their asses off to try to make it happen. WTHC radio has a lot of people in the back that could be doing getting involved in summer's programming, starting it in their own state. You don't have to just sit and watch. You can start your own. You can get involved in normal. You can get involved in, any type of area. Your state has to, if your state hasn't already gotten medical, it needs to get its ass in gear, and it ain't getting any closer without anybody helping. So, I mean, the states that already got it are already working to make it better. They're trying to get to rec. They're trying to fix it. You states that I know are in a bad situation, it's never going to pass here. It's never going to. But all you have to do is get more people. There's more green on both sides of the parties than there is together. Like both green, red and blue together. All of the green could get things taken. All the green people in the red and blue parties, I guess is what I'm trying to say, could get things taken care of if we went and did it instead of just sitting around and letting everybody else do it.
Yep, I've heard many people say that if we took the red and the blue and we made them all green, it'd be great.
You're right. Well, they don't all have to be green. They can do their thing, but all the green ones should be voting green, and making this shit happen. I don't know.
Absolutely,
it drives me nuts. But anyway.
Patients for Safe Access actually held a Veterans Roundtable meeting this last year. Normally, our regulatory agency, which is the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority, would hold an annual Veterans Roundtable meeting. And for 2024, they did not have one on the calendar. And so we actually went ahead and held one of our own. And we hosted the regulatory agency that morning for a private, or not private meeting, but for a closed meeting with Patients for Safe Access members. And then that evening, 1 to 3 in the afternoon, we opened the room up to all, to the public.
Yeah, to anybody who wanted to speak, right?
And invited all the veterans in for that. And we actually had a really good turnout. I would say we had about 25 people at that meeting. And it was great, because we had people there that had veteran resources that they could give, that, were speakers on the moment. We were able to touch base with what we were advocating for our veterans at that meeting, and let them know the things that we had discussed with the regulatory agency and what was their feedback on it at the time. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to hopefully being able to get to host that again this next November. So
was not prepared to be on the air. I'm hungover.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Oh. It's all right. It's all right. I'm happy to be here, though. This is a very important subject to me, believe it or not. Yeah. I am not a veteran, but I do love our veterans, and I thank them for everything they do. And but I hate the fact that they can't get the medicine that they deserve. They need this medicine. It will help them. They don't need to be on all those pills. You can't shit right when you're on all those pills. Who the hell wants to be backed up like that?
Here in a couple of weeks, I'll bring a guest on. His name is James. And James is actually one of I guess you'd call him the runner of the program. He's like out there going to all the dispensaries, trying to get everybody signed up on the program and stuff like that. And he has a really heartbreaking story about a buddy of his, who is no longer with us, and due to an unfortunate statistic. And in that story, had his friend been able to capitalize on utilizing medical cannabis, his friend would still probably be here. And because of the position that he was in, he was not able to do that. And I'll let James elaborate that story more. And that's really what broke my heart. And
I can elaborate on that story. There's been numerous times where I felt as though the world would be a better place without me. And then I went and I smoked a joint, and then I had the opportunity, instead of getting angrier or more upset or thinking worse thoughts, the medicine made me happy, made me
Mhm.
smile, made me not think those horrible thoughts. And even if it lasted for 5-10 minutes, it got it out of my brain and out to somewhere else so that I wasn't thinking those bad thoughts. And then I
Exactly.
was able to move on to the next item I needed to do in my day, and it passed, and those thoughts went away. And I
Yeah.
use that every once in a while. It helps with my mental illness, but I use it for lots of other things as well, like
Now
pain.
imagine someone like yourself who's in that situation and you go and you consume something that has pesticides or heavy metals in
Oh, I don't even wanna talk about that.
it.
We never
And
even last week, we didn't even get to touch on the oil leak that you got going on over there. I saw another photo of it
still
this week.
going.
Disgusting, disgusting. Just
Yeah.
pouring into the ocean there, or into the water. I don't think it's an ocean
We're,
over there in
we're, we're not in
Oklahoma.
the ocean. We're at a lake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not an ocean in Oklahoma, but you know what I mean. Into the
It's,
water, it's still horrible, killing the
it's very.
fish, killing the birds, killing everybody.
Mhm.
Ugh,
There's a lot of
crazy.
communities that actually depend on that river. It's along the Cimarron River, and so
Yeah.
there's a lot of communities that would rely on that. And so we were definitely very glad when it got turned in and reported to us to be able to expose that as
Oh,
well.
Tony. Tony's 420 is here. Hi, Tony. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome to
Ah, that's my buddy Anthony. What's up?
Oh,
Hi.
you know Tony. All right. Well, welcome in, Tony. Thank you for being here. You know Summer. I'm a
And
little hungover. I went summer last night. I hung out with Tone Loc and Vanilla Ice and CNC Music Factory and Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock at the I Love the 90s tour, and I may have did a little too much. I knew I was going to be in pain because I had front row and I was standing there, and then but the RSO worked for that, but it did not work for the pain that's happening now. But now I have a RSO hangover.
Mhm.
Now I'm not even interested in touching RSO right now. I just want to get high. All
So
right,
since we're getting
good.
close to 420, I just want to tell you really quick about that song. So
Okay.
this song is by a group called Young Hippie Kids, and they are out of Oklahoma City. So they are local homegrown to Oklahoma. We call
Sweet.
ourselves the Oklahomies around here.
Oklahomies. I like it. I like it. Yeah.
And so
Oklahomies.
you're going to see Kid Lennon with the dreads. You're going to see DJ Nemesis, which is the native guy, and
And
then
some celebrity named Summer
and you'll see myself and Charles in the
and
music video.
Charlie. Yeah. Our friend Reefer Ron is down there too. So after
Oh,
our
good.
420 song, he's here. We're ready to go. We'll
All
move
right,
on. All right.
let's do
Let
it.
me let me get out of here. I'm gonna jump down and then I
Okay.
will try to get this song set up. It might not look
All right.
perfect yet, but it'll take me a second, but I got it.
Sounds good.
All right,
I
I'm out of here.
appreciate you, Hippie. I
Everybody, thank you so
appreciate
much
you.
for being here. Please like,
That's right.
subscribe, and share it out. We're gonna be here from now on. So every Sunday at
Every
4
Sunday.
p.m.
Yep.
Patience for safe access.
Yeah. In fact, my mom's disappointed that I'm not hosting it from her house. So, too much fun. Too much fun. I love this though. You guys, thanks for joining us in here for sure. He's almost there. It's almost at 420. There he goes. See y'all in a minute. I don't think I see sound. Maybe. Alrighty. So I'm not sure if that had sound. I hope so. I couldn't hear it on my end. All right, and we're going to bring Mr. Ronnie up here shortly.
Oh, you guys couldn't hear it?
I couldn't, no.
Oh, my goodness. That was horrible. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, but I didn't know if other people could. You know what I mean?
No, Curly Kel saying, everybody out here saying, I couldn't see anything, so I didn't have any idea because it was behind my screen.
Gotcha. All right.
We'll try it again. We'll try it again next weekend,
Right.
next Sunday. I'll work on it. We guys, that's why it's got to be come to me in the other way, like we were talking about
Right.
before. It'll make life a lot easier.
Yeah, I sent it to YouTube link, guys. That was my bad.
It's okay. It's not your fault. Ron, are you down there? He looks like he may have walked away for a second.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's all right. I got a disclaimer we need to play, so we'll play that real quick.
Went to check on the girls.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Official disclaimer: Da Hippie Broadcasting Network and WTHC Radio.
Hey, Ronnie, what are you doing?
Hey. I had to go take a leak and check on my smoker.
That's how you're going to start that. Well, welcome to Reefer Ronnie, y'all. So, Reefer Ronnie, man, you are like the OG, bro. So just a quick backstory on Ronnie, guys. 788 is the state question that we passed for medical marijuana. And Reefer Ronnie and several of our other friends, old school and others, were original advocates who were going and traveling to the Capitol, going and getting the signatures. They had their boots to the ground, and they are the true OGs. So Oklahoma Medical Program thanks you. The medical patients do. I don't know about the program, but the patients sure as hell do. And he's been an OG of Patients for Safe Access as well. So, yep, see a 788 coffee mug. So the other thing about Reefer Ronnie is that he is a veteran. And so, Ronnie, I just kind of want to talk to you about like what brought you to medical cannabis and how has that helped you?
Well, for 20 years prior to 788 passing, I had several back operations. Mm-hmm. I'd been on morphine, started out with just morphine and muscle relaxers, but you know how that goes. You wind up with a whole pantry full of pills. Mm-hmm. And 2018, the federal government said that 90 milligrams was the most you could have. And I had been taking like over six times that much for over 12 years. So I was basically dope sick, like a junkie on the street with prescription morphine. So I weaned myself off of that with cannabis. And it's been 6 years now since I've had any kind of pharmaceuticals. I just use natural medicines now.
Hell yeah, he does. And let me tell you, Ronnie is the king of freaking natural medicine, you guys. He is all about plant remedies and plant medicine in every form, not just cannabis. So he is a wealth of knowledge, and he absolutely, I'm just thankful to be able to call you my friend.
Thank you. Same here.
And Ronnie, now you, when 788 did pass, I mean, you did get into the industry, didn't you?
Well, kind of.
A little bit. You
I was part of a grow to begin with, yes.
Right.
And when the market became overflooded, and it just wasn't worth it.
Right. Now, whenever you were at that commercial scale grow, what did you guys do to combat like pests and stuff like that?
Well, I believe in all natural medicine myself. I use living soil and sticky traps and just natural things, using plants that draw the bugs away from your plant to them. And predator bugs too.
Now, so I know you practice that in your self grow, in your home grow.
Yes.
So in the commercial grow aspect, what did you see people using in that aspect to treat pesticides and stuff?
I've seen people use everything.
Yeah.
I used to think permethrin was fine.
Till you start Googling what it can do, huh?
Yeah. You find
Neurological.
out people that it damn near killed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, yeah,
Uh-huh.
tell us about your girls, about your plants. What you got going on?
Well, I've only got 2 babies right now. They are beans from Nancy's own,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just about to finish up. And I'm looking forward to the next round because Anthony helped me set up I guess you'd call it a 1-yard bed. It's a 3-foot by 3-foot bed. And I can't wait to see what they will do in that living soil, having room for plenty of root.
Absolutely. So you even at home, like you even make all the teas and stuff like that to use in your grow. Like you literally do not use anything that is of a chemical status at all.
No, I use anything I put in my soil is natural, and I don't feed the plants. I feed the soil. You feed the soil feeds the plants.
Very good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what does it mean to you to have the access to not only like safe quality medicine, but affordable medicine as a veteran?
Well, that's a tough question because I don't buy very much. I grow my own mostly.
But when you
But
do buy,
yeah, but when I do buy it, I expect to get medicine that's safe with no chemicals or pesticides in it. It's, I
we have
expect if I look at something and it don't look right, the nose don't smell right. If I got a question about it, if it smells good enough that I want to use it, I'm probably going to ask to look at the COA so that I can know what's in it.
Yeah, because I mean, as a patient, we should be asking for the COAs for our medicine. You know, we
Yes.
should be asking so that one, like, we got to match like terp profiles and stuff like that to
But
our body. You know,
but on the other hand, where I do buy medicine, I buy
Mhm.
from people that I trust, and I trust that they have already looked at that COA. But there are squirrels out there, snakes out in the industry that, as you know, uh,
Oh,
will
I
give
know.
someone a clean COA on dirty shit.
Right? I know all too well, unfortunately, about that whole scenario. So there are definitely bad players, and you know, one by one though, they're being weeded out. You know, and when they get weeded out of the garden, so will all their pesticide-ridden bullshit cannabis. It'll be gone too. So
Exactly.
yeah. So I mean, we as patients, we've decided to take the quality of our medicine back into our own hands. So
While we're on the subject of veterans and medicine,
yeah.
let me mention James Labadouche
Mm-hmm.
with Vet Maps.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a veteran and you need help getting your medical card, James will help you. Or if you're in Oklahoma City, go by the Terpene station at 8333 South Shields, and Miss Hunter will help you to navigate and get your card. And she knows James also, so you know if you can't afford your card, uh, there are ways around.
Yep, they will make sure that you do get your card. So in the state of Oklahoma, a veteran has to be 100% disabled in order to get the reduced licensing currently, right?
Yes. It,
So that's frustrating,
if
isn't
you're
it?
100%, it's $20 for the card for 2 years. If you're not 100%, it's, what is it? $100, $126, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So, it makes a difference. So go ahead.
yeah, you've got to be 100% to get that discount.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that have cancer from Vietnam that haven't got their 100% rating yet.
Exactly. It takes
There
years.
are people that have been fighting to get their 100% rating for their whole damn life that don't have it yet.
So when we talk about veterans giving 100%, the current regulatory agency is requiring them to be at a full 100% disability, which can take some of these fellas, forever to achieve when it really should not be that way. So one of the things we advocated for at our Patients for Safe Access meeting, and Ronnie was there with us, was to get them to take it as a DD-214. If you have a DD-214, then you should qualify for that discount, period, point blank. It should not matter the percentage rating of disability, because like I said before Ronnie came on, they gave 100% to us. We should be giving 100% back to them, regardless.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely my touch on it. So, hey, Charlie, didn't you say you had a couple things you wanted to ask Ronnie?
I just wanted to ask you, did you think cannabis saved his life?
Okay, Charlie wanted me to ask you, Ronnie, do you feel like that cannabis saved your life?
Oh, absolutely. Cannabis is still saving my life because it's repairing the damages done to my body by the pharmaceutical industry.
Absolutely, I agree with that too. So,
anyone that's been basically a drug addict has damages to their liver, their kidneys, their every organ. That this, just like a junkie on the street destroys their organs by using drugs, the same way with prescription drugs. If you're on them, they destroy you.
And it doesn't matter whether an addiction is self-induced or physician-induced, because addiction can often be physician-induced as well.
Absolutely.
So,
and I would venture to say that most people, that if they've been on pain medicine for over 30 days, they're addicted to it.
Right. Absolutely. But you know what? You can take and go on cannabis for well over 30 days and quit smoking and take a tolerance break, and you don't go through withdrawals, do you?
Uh-huh.
So let's see here. So, Ronnie, with him being part of our Patients for Safe Access team as well, he gets to be a part of us going out for team building exercises. So I'm going to veer off for a second here. I use the word veer off because Ronnie likes to veer off the track. We often
shortcuts.
We often go-kart track racing after we've had a big win at the Capitol, or we've had a big meeting at the Capitol or something like that. We like to have victory laps, right? And team building. And so, man, runabout Ronnie over here, though, he don't know how to keep his damn go-kart on the track, y'all. You should see this shit. It's absolutely hilarious. Ronnie, you tell him some of it.
Well, I put both feet flat down. I go full send it. Then on some of the corners, I like to hit the brakes and slide sideways a little bit.
Yep. Including going into the exit part of the track where you line the carts back up at. He'll spin out right in front of it, and be sitting there sideways in the lane looking at you like, ha, what you doing, bro? So,
thought you were behind. You thought I was behind you.
I always think you're behind me when I pass you, and then the next thing I know, you're in front of me again. I'm always does that happen? You know what I mean? And it's because Shortcut over here, he takes shortcuts that aren't even shortcuts. He creates shortcuts. He'll be coming up over a hillside at you, and you're like, where the hell did this go-kart come from?
I think the next big victory laps that we do, we need to do it with the Stinger.
Man, we tried. We asked him if they would let us. Okay, so I have a 20.
Well, I think if you got a big enough tip and the owner wasn't there,
I don't know.
he might,
We-
he might let your Charles do it.
It's an outdoor track. You would think they would let us. I mean, they let people do quarter-mile drags on an outdoor track, so why can't we
Yeah.
run our go-kart?
Hell, that car's safer than go-karts.
Right? Definitely it is. Definitely it is, actually. I've seen some crazy wrecks go on. I've watched videos of that shit, and I'm scared to wreck in a go-kart like that. So,
Well, I knew a guy that years ago that died on one. He was the same
Yeah.
guy that had the Datsun 240Z that was on nitrous, and it had a lever that you flipped for driver or car. And he also had a go-kart on nitrous, and he died racing it.
I bet. You don't put them on
He died having fun though, doing what he loved.
So, talking about plant medicine, we're going to go back to that. So, one of the things that I've been fortunate to learn from Ronnie in regards to plant medicine is like tinctures and things like that. So, you make a lot of your own homemade tinctures, and the one that you got me on learning about was the mullein tincture. And so, tell me about some of the other stuff that you'll make. And I know you've got your antibiotic, that's the garlic and honey and something.
Well, suppositories is, to me, is the big one. Because when I was told that I had something suspicious going on and I didn't want to go to VA because they would demand that I do their protocol,
Right.
and I didn't want to do that, I started looking for suppositories, and a dispensary told me, yeah, we can order them. Well, how much will they be? They'd be $57 for 3. I was like,
Ouch.
holy shit. And so me, old school, and Lawrence Pasternak, which is gone now, figured out how to make the suppositories. And so I made my own, and knock on wood. And then I've 2 other people that I have made suppositories using natural medicine have reversed cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And the cannabis is not the only answer. It's your diet. You've got to alter your diet, eliminate all the sugar possible, which is hard to do because everything has sugar in it. And eat green vegetables, eat things that have other cannabinoids and terpenes and etc. in it. All plants are medicine.
Yes, they are. They all have a purpose.
Yeah, and use healthy oils and butter,
Mm-hmm.
real butter. It's healthier than that 1 molecule away from plastic crap.
You mean the margarine? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I won't do it.
It's got to be butter, right?
Yeah, it's got to be butter. If I go to a restaurant and I see that they've got that fake butter crap, I ain't eating it. I'll eat my baked potato with just sour cream on it.
Well, I can definitely say that, you've influenced my boyfriend to make better choices about what he's putting into his body. He's now got me making tinctures at home, due to your influence of making tinctures there at the house. And then he's also went to eating more leafy greens and things like that, which I'm sorry, but I never thought I would see. And I'm super glad for it. There's one of the tinctures right there.
Here's kombucha.
Okay. Is that what you got going in that
With,
one?
with ginger.
Uh-huh. What was it you made yesterday with ginger and something?
It was tea with ginger and honey, and that's what.
Gotcha.
This is on its way to becoming kombucha.
Do you got your shot glass sitting?
It's got kombucha in it.
You got your shot glass sitting there? The one that you use for your lemon shots?
No.
Oh. I was gonna show it off.
Oh, yeah. you never know when you're when you're with me what kind of a tea or coffee you'll be getting.
This is so very true.
You know,
So,
I use the volcano, which you see it in the background over here, I think.
mhm,
I use the volcano, and the weed that comes out of it is already decarbed or
right?
partially decarbed from being in the volcano. I mix that in with coffee and makes happy coffee.
Absolutely, it does. So, and then, yeah, I mean, I know that you've made the Mullen tincture. Like I said, you've got that antibiotic, that homemade antibiotic and stuff. And I mean, you have known the identification of these plants for many decades, I'm sure, and what their medicinal benefits were. But how did you learn? Who influenced your choices on plant medicine?
Uh, well, I learned a lot of stuff from my grandma,
Hmm.
and then just from other people I'm around. And I've been known to go to the library and check out all the books that I can find on growing your own plants and medicine and how to do organic things. And
Hmm.
then, like the one book, I can't think of the name of it. Lost Lost Book of Remedies, I believe it is, that I have. You know, it identifies all the plants and what they're good for, and whether you want to make medicine in whether you want a tincture or a salve or whatever, or smoke it, or
Well,
moving back to that, you can make a tincture or you can smoke it.
I just got a book as well. I think I was telling you on the phone the other day. It's got like 250 home remedy, recipes in it that are all natural remedies. And it's not something like I definitely like thought about natural remedies before, but it's not something that I took uber serious. But again, I'm taking your influence and your knowledge and stuff about those types of things, about the cannabis plant and all the other plants that are, medicinal benefits. And I'm just going to soak it up and be a little sponge.
Charles asked me a question the other day
Ruh-roh.
about for liver damage, what to take. Dandelion root.
Did you hear that,
I looked
Charlie?
it up.
Dandelion root.
Dandelion root and black thistle
So
seeds.
we'll have to make something out of those for him. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I mean, you go on the 22nd of each month though, and you participate in the Project 22 program, don't you?
I have 2 or 3 times, yeah.
So what have
You
you
know, if
thought
the
about
weather
this?
and everything's permitting,
Right.
that's one hell of a deal for veterans, is to go to one of the participating dispensaries, and the veteran 22 participating dispensaries, and get 22 grams of flour for 22 cents. That can't be beat. And I really appreciate the different growers and dispensaries that are participating in this.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do thank them people. So, and that's an Oklahoma program currently. And we were talking about how this is kind of like it has the ability to be a nationwide platform, international if we do. But so that may not be a program that's available for other states. They might have other types of programs, or if it's something that they want to implement a program similar to ours, then they can reach out to Rob and James to learn more about that program, and to Crystal and them, and see about activating that in their area as well to help the veterans in their area, which would be amazing. He's inhaling.
That was an old school French inhale there.
So Ronnie currently has a bunch of stuff on the smoker out there, and I cannot wait to be able to come back down to OKC to hang out with you and visit and see you and eat some of that smoked meat that you're going to freeze for me.
Yeah, that smoked meat. I believe in karma.
Mm-hmm.
Karma is, I try to create karma. And I told you the deal about the meat,
Mm-hmm.
about a year and a half ago, there was a tornado. I had just got pig from the butcher. I've cooked meat for tornado victims and
Hmm.
construction workers and stuff. And last week, that meat came back to me. I had a neighbor that had a whole bunch of pork that called me and said, "Hey, could you use this?" There was more than I could find freezer room, so I'm still cooking meat now.
So tell me, I mean, Oklahoma in the last 48 hours was ravaged by wildfire in several areas of our state. And how close did the closest fire get to you there where you're at in the Newcastle area?
Well, I believe the closest one to me would have been the one that was on the south side of Chickasha.
Okay.
And then it made it over. That was between, I think it made it towards Bridge Creek, maybe. That would have been the closest. But
So,
then the one that was over by Lake Thunderbird, that was very concerning to me. I called my friend old school, John Fraser, because I saw that where that fire was out. And old school's like, "Yeah, I know about it. I'm the one that found it and reported it. I was headed to the dispensary and I saw the pole blow over and start arcing and create the fire. And I called," he said, "I missed the opportunity for a real good video because I was using my phone to call all these emergency numbers." So the one over at Norman by Thunderbird, everybody should thank old school for getting action fast there because he made it happen.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my daughter, she lives in Manford, Oklahoma, and it was hit hard. They lost somewhere between 30 to 50 homes and around 150 structures.
Well, someone that I know within the Oklahoma industry, Timothy Laham,
Hmm.
he's from over like towards Drumrat, I believe.
Hmm.
He lost everything.
Did you know?
There's
Did you
a
know?
GoFundMe thing uh, through, I think it's through Daniel Knowles,
Okay.
has set up a GoFundMe to help Timothy.
Did
He's
the
he's
governor?
doing a raffle. Daniel's doing a raffle on some beans
Okay.
that are like exclusive beans. So
So if y'all
yeah,
need beans, go check out Daniel Knowles and buy some beans to help some victims of the Oklahoma fires. So
yeah.
even Governor Stitt's house burnt down in Luther, Oklahoma.
Well, and something about Timothy Lamb that lost everything. He has been, I've seen him over the last 6 years. He's another person that I've seen at the Capitol and everywhere. Him and his wife are very active in, they are uh, autism and cannabis.
Hmm.
Uh, so, and they have kids that are part of the autism and cannabis thing too. That, yeah, it hurts when you see someone like, you know, that's worked to help others, and then they lose everything. It's like, what the hell?
My child was fortunate. She did not lose her house. So that was a blessing, you know what I mean? But there were obviously a lot of people in her community affected. And she's out there today going and getting water from like Resource and stuff because Resource has been donating water. And so she's been going and getting loads of water in her car and stuff and taking it back to participants that need water and stuff. And it's a heartbreak, you know what I mean, whenever any natural disaster occurs. But it's also a blessing when you realize that, you know, everything that your family's is okay, even though your heart breaks for those that have lost so much, you know what I mean? And you almost
Yeah.
feel guilty for feeling glad about it. So,
And it also gives others that hasn't, like you said, it gives others that haven't been affected the opportunity to reach out to
hmm,
the ones that were and help
absolutely.
in some way.
Yep. Absolutely. It does.
And
So,
it's good to see that, you know, you have friends and neighbors in, oh, I think I had enough of that one. Oh, oh,
My daughter and I have part of
That was getting down to the paper filter.
my daughter and I have been to like disaster relief zones before to help, and so she's always been someone who wanted to help others. In fact, she was enlisted in the Army at one point as well, but unfortunately was put out on medical due to having shin splints her 16th week of boot camp. She was, or sorry, not 16th week. She was at the end of boot camp getting ready to do her 16K ruck march and ended up having to go to medical after that and found out that she had shin splints and had to come home. So.
Yeah, I saw a lot of them shin splints in the Army.
Yeah. And what branch were you?
Army.
Army?
Yeah, shin splints was a common thing because when I was in, you ran in combat boots. You did PT, you're running and stuff in boots because, we're Army. Ugh. Well, but then I think about probably 85, 86, they started doing the running with tennis shoes, with running shoes.
Yep.
Oh, wow, it made me love to run.
Compared to
I used to actually run. When I first got out of service, I would run 20 miles a day, at least 3 times a week.
I don't think I've ever run 20 miles in my life.
Then I got to where I ran by a garage sale and saw a bicycle, and I bought that bicycle. I started bicycling one day and running the next. I found out there was muscles that you use on a bicycle that you don't use running. Oh, the first day I went on a long ride on the bicycle, I couldn't hardly walk for several days.
I bet. So, I know that one thing that's available in some states is like farmers market style sales of cannabis, meaning like you can sell to your neighbor and things like that, and it's not like illegal for that to happen. But the state of Oklahoma doesn't currently do that. But, I look at the things that Ronnie has done and the people that he has helped, with helping them make their medicine and stuff like that. And I see such a benefit in being able to help thy neighbor, right? And I'm really hoping that Oklahoma will change up things and kind of allow that in the future. What do you think, Ron?
Well, that would sure be nice. And it sounds good, but I doubt they'll get there.
Right? Well,
It don't hurt for us to push for it, though, huh?
Right? It does not hurt for us to push for it. I mean, we push.
Hey, positive vibes. Let's get it.
We push for everything from license or barcodes on the medical patient cards, scannable barcodes, to the veterans access stuff, to the pesticide free. We advocate for the zero tolerance, zero chemicals, right, Ronnie? Cool.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we're out here pumping it out in Oklahoma, and we hope that in other states you guys are doing what you can to advocate for your programs and for your rights as a medical patient or as a consumer, right?
Yeah. I have found out we ruffled some feathers with the zero tolerance for chemicals and pesticides, but oh well.
I don't give a shit if
I want clean medicine. I can grow clean medicine.
Exactly, and if you got to do it on a smaller scale or however you got to do it, but do it clean for the patient and for the consumer. And if you don't like it, get the hell out of the game.
Well, my medicine out of the new living soil that I'm fixing to start growing in. The first medicine that I grow in it, I'm gonna have it tested. That way I'll know what's in that soil.
And you're having that
because
tested.
Plants pick up what's in the soil, and people don't realize that, and that they're watered.
Ronnie's on well water, so he kind of wants to know between the soil and the well water, that everything is good, so that he knows that everything that he's growing in living soil is safe and it's good. It's ready to go. There's no questions about it.
Yeah, I've had people see me water plants and give them just well water straight, from the faucet to the plant, and they're like, "Oh, you don't do a bubbler on that, or you don't test it or anything." I know what the pH of the water is and everything. I know what it needs. It's
Right.
not my first time to use it.
Yeah, you've been using that same system for decades, so
Yeah.
you know what's in
Yeah.
there. But yeah,
I hope this water's okay because I've been drinking it my whole life.
right. But you're right. The plant is a bioaccumulator, and it sucks all the stuff up from the soil and from the water. And it's a really good idea. I think what you're doing
Yeah.
is great, because as a patient, you just want to know for yourself that what you're growing is good for you, and to go out and test that independently gives you that peace of mind.
Yeah, and then that way I will know, when I test that flower, I'll know everything about my water, my soil, for sure. Right
Absolutely.
now, I'm questioning the water because of all the soil farming going on around the area.
Yes, that's going to definitely be a good topic. We'll have to close probably, but I think we can go a few minutes over. But why don't you tell us a little bit about that soil farming real quick, Ronnie? And then when I bring you on next time, we'll definitely talk about that.
Well, soil farming is where they're drilling the wells. I believe they're natural gas wells around. And then a landman comes around and gets people to contract their land to spread this stuff that they pull back up out of the ground and put into a pit. Then they mix with a compost and spread it on the property. And they pay to spread it on the property. But just like I've become wiser about what I eat and natural things, it's unbelievable the stuff that's in what they're pulling out of the ground that they're spreading out there across this land. We had some tested, and it had arsenic, it had uranium, it had all kind of shit in it that makes me question my well water now.
Right, because this is something that has been done around your home on other people's properties, off and on for about 10 years now, and even on your own property at one point years ago before it was yours.
Yeah, and they convince you that it's actually good for your land.
Yeah,
that it's like you're adding compost, fertilizer, and it does where you've got grass, Bermuda grass, and it's growing good. They put it on there in the spring. By the fall, you can cut hay off of it. But as we've discovered, plants take up what's ever in the soil, and then it goes on through the food chain.
Exactly. So
the moons eat it, the sheep eat it, the goats eat it, whatever. If you're baling that hay, you're feeding it to your damn horse.
The wildlife, the deer, the bunnies, all of it.
Yeah.
The water sources that are nearby. There's so many things to consider with that.
I've never been afraid to eat deer or anything, fish or anything around the land around here, but now it's questionable, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad that you're being that wise about it, that you do question it, and you're right. There was some soil and stuff tested from, in the area, and it did have uranium in it. And even the lab that tested that product said that it, would be considered not bio waste. What was it that the lab said, Charlie? On the soil, what do you call it? Biohazard, what do you call it? Hazardous waste. That was the way the lab phrased it, was hazardous waste. So they were
it was hazardous waste until they added compost to it and cut the parts per million down.
Yeah.
So, and then supposedly by the time it gets down to the water table, it's all good.
Well, we're not worried about the water table. We're worried about the livestock and stuff that's eating.
Oh yeah, we're worried about everything. But if without water, we don't survive.
All right. Well, Ronnie, we're gonna.
I hear the cattle right out here at the fence. They're calling me saying, "Hey, we want a snack."
Well, because they smell the smoker, bro. They smell the smoker. So
Hopefully the new baby. I don't know if I doubt she'll bring it up this early.
Yeah.
But it's up running and playing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today and for being a guest. I can't wait to see you again soon when we get back down to OKC. And thank you for serving, and thank you for being an advocate for medical cannabis for our state and for helping to bring it to me as a patient.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for all I've gained knowledge from y'all too about everything. And that's what we should do. Be like a sponge, just absorb what we can.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. And we are out of here for now.
We're out. 1, 2, 3, ping!
Stepping up strong with a righteous plea. Summer Parker fighting for you and me. Patients need what the doctor has said. Safe access now to the meds they bred. One love, one fight, don't you delay. Rights for the people in every way. We stand tall, we won't back down. Safe access is the anthem sound.